Hey everyone, Dabacabb here, and I am back with another Brawl. This week, we're all soldiers now, which is unfortunate because, to be honest, this Brawl kinda sucks. If you have the opportunity to play it, you're probably better off passing because, as you will see, you will just spend a lot of time dead. I don't know why they mucked with the stats, but one of the things they did was they dropped the max health down to 100 instead of 200, which means rockets are one-hit kill, and everything else is, it takes just a couple bullets to kill you. So you're like made of tissue paper. So everything's very high risk, super fast kill time, and personally, that's actually one of the things I like about Overwatch is that it has a relatively high time to kill, which means that it offers more opportunities for counterplay and reacting and fighting around someone. If you're playing an FPS where basically 1 or 2 bullets kills the other person, then the only thing that really matters is who sees the other person first, and of course, aim. But if you get into like a firefight, it's like a real life encounter. It's whoever gets the first bullet into someone first wins. So there's a lot of that going on in this fight. I mean, you can take a couple of bullets, but the rockets are the big problem. Rockets will just destroy you, and you just end up with these really fast, non-interactive, not super interesting fights. It's very tense. I don't want to say exactly that the fights aren't fun. It's just it's not as fun as normal Overwatch. You know what I mean? It's like playing Zenyatta against or pre-Widowmaker nerf Zenyatta against like a team of 4 or 5 Widowmakers. Sure, you can do cool stuff, you can get kills, but odds are good you're just gonna get one shot every time you show your face. If you insist on playing, I recommend aiming for the head. I try to do that a little bit, but I don't play a whole lot of soldier, so I'm not super familiar with that. But just in general, try and aim for the heads. It'll quickly speed up the fights. Also, the maps are all control, I guess, because that makes it more like Call of Duty, where things are control point A, control point B, and control point C. I don't know. I'm not really sure why they made this game so reminiscent of like Call of Duty and Battlefield and all those, I guess, conventional FPS games. Because Overwatch is itself so singular and unique and out there. I don't know why. Like, if people preferred that playstyle, they would just go play Call of Duty. They would just go play Battlefield. But we're playing Overwatch because we like that it's different. We like that every character is unique. We like that the relatively high time to kill means that you can have interactive team fights. But this is just 6 people fighting each other, and that's about it. I actually saw an interview by Jeff Kaplan, who is, from what I understand, a long-time FPS fan, and he said regarding typical team-based FPS games, something on the lines of like, you'll like turn a corner and you'll see your ally, and there will be this split moment where you just sort of look at each other and you're like, oh wait, you're an ally, right? Okay, carry on then. And then you and your teammate both just part ways and start shooting people again. And like, I get that those work for those games, I guess, where everything's just sort of all about kill-death ratio and team deathmatch. But I remember him saying specifically that he wanted to move away from that because it's just not interactive. It's not really like you're playing with your teammates. It's more just like there are 5 people that you can't get kills off of, and they're just around also killing people. So you're just in a race to kill people before your teammates kill them, because otherwise their kill number goes up by 1 and your kill number does not go up by 1. And that's your main incentive to be aware of what your teammates are doing. I mean, there are exceptions, of course. I don't want to paint with too broad of a stroke here, but in general, it's just not super interactive compared to a game like Overwatch. But this, I mean, you just don't see any degree of team cooperation or interactivity. I mean, you might put a healing stream down for one of your allies, but since it's a 20-second cooldown, I think they increased the cooldowns for this brawl. But since the cooldowns are so long, it's like you're just better off saving it for yourself. And since everyone's health is so low, and since you will expose yourself to get to your friend usually, it's just not really worth it. You're just better off saving it for yourself. Also, the whole everyone has to be soldiers. I mean, I get the joke. We're all soldiers now, and so in this team, all 6 people are soldiers. It's sort of an obvious. It's a really obvious brawl. Like, I can sort of imagine the Blizzard team sitting around a table being like, okay, let's have brawls, or we could do something wacky. What are some cool ideas that we could do? And people are, throwing out suggestions, and one person says, oh, how about we're all soldiers now? And everyone's a soldier. Like, yeah, that's cool. It'll be kind of like Call of Duty. Like, I get why this game mode exists. It's a very obvious choice because of the joke, and everyone will get, oh, well, I get that joke. That's funny, kind of. But I don't know if a week of this brawl is worth the joke. It's just not even that funny of a joke anyways. So you're just... I don't know, Blizzard. I hope they just put a bullet in this brawl and don't put it up anymore, because it's not super fun. It's not dynamic, it's not team-oriented, and it's just not very interesting. So I've been trashing on this for like 7 minutes. Let me try and be a little bit positive. I will say that because this game is so focused on, shooting people, it's not like you have Roadhog hooks to pull someone to you and instant kill them, and you don't have McCree flashbangs to instant kill them. The game focuses a bit more on honing in your accuracy. Like, if you miss with your rocket, and you got 12 or 13 seconds to kill them with your gun, so you really have to rely on being super accurate, putting more damage into them than they put into you. So if you want to practice your gunplay, I could see this game mode being sort of valuable in that sense. But since you spend so much of your time dead, you would get more value out of your time spent playing if you actually just played a normal game. Because even though you might spend more time ulting and using abilities in a conventional game, the fact that you'll be alive more means you'll get more practice out of your gunplay experience. So yeah, it'll make you focus more on gunplay, which I guess is a good thing, but still I would recommend probably just playing quick play. Like, the whole point of a brawl is that it's weird and unique and bizarre. It's like this totally novel play experience. But when you've got this static, stale, everything's the same, everyone's the same person, everyone's killing each other the same way, it has the opposite effect. So I'm not actually playing my best game. I'm a little bit rough, largely because this is my first game that I started playing after I got back from work. I, booted up my recording software, played a match, and what I did with the previous brawls was I played a couple of matches so that I would have a diverse set of footage to choose from, so I could have, the best gameplay footage. But what ended up happening was I played one game, and my brother and I were complaining about it on voice chat, and we just ended up not wanting to play anymore. So I've only got this one game to play. But yeah, maybe this can spare you guys the experience. If you haven't played it yet, you're probably better off just, playing quick play. Gosh, I don't even know what else to say about this. There's just not enough material to even talk about. I like Soldier. I'll talk about that. I like Soldier. He's a cool character. I get that he's like one of the most basic, normal, run-of-the-mill characters you could possibly imagine. And I remember actually a whole lot before the game was released. People on the forums were talking about how Soldier's very generic and dull, and he's just like a carbon copy of every FPS character ever. But while that may be true in terms of flavor, that is not true mechanically. I actually had a really long conversation with my brother about Soldier's role in the game, because my brother likes to play highly specialized characters, and Soldier is sort of like just a middle ground soldier. But he actually does one thing that very few other characters in the game reliably do, and that is he is an assault character who can comfortably sit in the middle of the objective, whether it be the payload or the control point, and stand right next to his tank and just control the whatever the map objective is. And no other assaults can do that. I mean, you've got, let's see, Genji. He's a flanker, so he doesn't want to be near the control point really. He wants to be behind enemy lines, harassing the damaged or the healers, and just disrupting the enemy team composition. Same thing goes for Tracer. They don't want to spend a whole lot of time next to a payload because they're vulnerable and they're not killing the targets they want to kill. And you've got Reaper. Reaper's basically a stealth character. He doesn't want to be seen ever. Ideally, he's sneaking around, teleporting to places where they can't be seen, and just kind of being like a World of Warcraft or just being super stealthy. So he doesn't want to be on the front lines either. You got Pharah, who can sort of be on the front lines, but she's going to be in the air so much that she can't really stand next to her tank and support them. Then, let me see, what's the other one? McCree is the closest to Soldier in terms of like mechanical playstyle, because a McCree can hang out right next to a tank and just shoot from afar and catch a flanker who comes in with a flashbang. But he doesn't quite do it as well as Soldier, and McCree kind of wants to be a little bit stealthy so he can catch people with his flashbang. But Soldier, based on the fact that he's reliable at close, medium, and long range, means that he can comfortably deal with people at pretty much any engagement range, which you can't always control when you're playing on an objective point. Also, the healing field, while it seems like kind of like a generic, not super unique ability, it enables him to be kind of like supporty and like a leader, which fits his lore a lot. So if his tank or anyone else on the payload runs out of health, he can heal them up. So this is something about Soldier that I really hope that they expand on with future heroes. The game could really use some frontline assault characters who just want to stand on the payload and just hurt people from afar. And right now the assault class is filled with high mobility flankers and stealth characters, and then there's Soldier, who is sort of like the black sheep. So hopefully future patches will give him some friends to hang out with. Alright, that's the end of the match, so Dabacabb out.